I'm Mike Bradner, and this is Capitol Views, and we're here with Charlie Huggins, the president of the Alaska State Senate, and that's a 20-member body. Makes it pretty close-knit, but I guess it can mean big-time warfare if you're not getting along. Otherwise, it's a happy group. But Charlie, what do you see happening this year? I mean, what are...
Well, thank you very much, Mike. Number one, I mean, we've been here for a couple weeks plus. And if I could just go back a little bit as a prelude, you know, around the middle of January, my wife and daughter both ran a 26-mile .2 in marathon.
Ouch.
Down in Florida. And, you know, it does my heart good when I think about that, because Hallie, our daughter, she's our middle child, only daughter, when she was getting ready to go to Afghanistan as a helicopter pilot, she and her mom made this pact. One of the things that they were going to do when Hallie got back from Afghanistan was run a marathon. And I was the kind of the coach in that. We went down to Florida, and I got to tell you, it was a very heartwarming experience. And I would be delinquent if I didn't mention at the same time Hallie was in Afghanistan, our oldest son, Chad, who was a company commander in Afghanistan, was there, and they both came back, you know, kind of about the same time frame. And Chad now is over in Germany, serving our country there as a captain in the Army. Gave up company command. So,
Of course, you have a military background.
I do.
It's a family.
I do. And I guess the other highlight leading into this session, but part of the session was I had a birthday on 27th of January. But more important than that, that same daughter I talked about has the same birthday on the 27th of January.
Oh, wow.
So we, you know, we had that celebration, and guys like Daniel.
Well, that means I have to ask you how old you are.
I am a big 67.
Oh, that's
yeah,
you're
just
a youngster.
Yeah. So, but I say that in lightheartedness. But you know, it's we all bring something to the table. Some people it's youth, others experience or older individual, and you know, I feel at least as fit as the fittest person in the Senate when it comes to the physical business. But you know, I'm proud of the people we have in the Senate. We have a diverse group, and you know, we have 2 or 3 people that probably have a little different perspective than some in the Senate. But you know, by and large, we have people that have an attitude of let's roll our sleeves up and let's do something for the state of Alaska. When it comes to doing something for the state of Alaska, you know, I mean that, because we can all be guilty of essentially saying, I represent the people from Wasilla, and oh, by the way, if it's not good for Wasilla, then who cares? And you know, quite frankly, I think it's much wiser for us to work towards our constituency. And I use the gas pipeline as an example. It is such an opportunity in alignment with Fairbanks, and we know, you know, last year we passed a trucking proposition, and that's a bridge to more affordable energy. And in this case, in this particular session, we have a grand opportunity to move a pipeline forward, and it'll be a stepped process, and we'll empower the commissioners, and then lo and behold, they will bring back to us some products which we then get a second bite at for approval or disapproval or amendment, if you will. And I think that's healthy for the state.
Will that happen this session, or that'll be the following session?
The empowerment will happen this session, and also the Alaska Gas Development Corporation is a piece of that. So I said commissioners, there's actually 3 moving parts. So we'll empower those 3 individuals or elements, organizations, to represent us as a state. And of course, it's a little different because, at least in my time in the legislature, it's the first time we really talked about taking an equity position in a project. And for those people that like the Norway model, this takes the best of the Norway model, and whereby we have some skin in the game, and we can take a little bit of risk but reap higher gains, but we don't have to suffer through Norway's tax structure of value-added tax, income tax, which equals way over half the money you make in a month or year's time.
Of course, Norway has an old history of government involved in enterprise, and that's a little new for us. And that was one of the flaws, I think, in the Murkowski pipeline, is that It was, and they had to take that forward in an election year, and truck it around the public, and people just like to throw rocks at something sometimes.
No, it's difficult. It's difficult. And Mike, if I might just mention, many of my constituents, but Alaskans at large, have some concern about the budget. And, the two main components, and quite frankly, the budget's the only real thing that we have to do in the 90-day time frame to fulfill our requirements. But, some people are interested in more grants, more money for whatever their pet project happens to be, and others have a more long-term view of how can we take our savings account, extend the life of that. But the way I think of that is, in the Senate, we sort of have a 5-year approach to it. It's not perfectly laid out, but we will build upon that. We did that last year in conjunction with the governor, and the capital budget was down just over $1 billion, and we cut the growth in the operating budget down to something probably just short of 1%. Let's call it 1%. So that was, I think, originally had been 6.5% or 7%. So that's a significant, but we're in the second year of that. So we'll see how we do in that. And Alaska's will hold us accountable for that.
Charlie, we're out of time. This is Mike Bradner, and this has been Capitol Views, and we've been with Charlie Huggins, the President of our Senate. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you very much, and appreciate it very much, and for your past service.